go. 3, 2, 1. Welcome in on a Friday night. We're live, and this is Driver Nation. I'm Tom Kelly, along with Gary from Gary's app and Steve from the Rideshare Rodeo. We're simulcasting right now on, well, are we simulcasting? I don't see anything showing up over there yet.
Yeah, we're on YouTube already.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
We live.
Because I didn't press the button. Okay, there we go.
We live.
All right, we're there. Good to see everybody out there tonight. Good to have you all with us. You know, on Friday nights, we change our general programming over to talking all things around the gig economy. And we have all manner of experts who are available, and we'll have them come in and join us as we can. And let's see, I'll get the phone lines opened here in just a minute, but let's check in with the guys, starting with Steve. How are you doing this week, Steve?
I'm good. I've had a little bit of a week. I had a very dear friend pass.
I'm sorry.
He was a really well-known musician, had played with pretty much like bands that would blow your mind kind of thing, and you just wouldn't know it. He sat in a lot of session plays. Just a wonderful human being. And I know his daughters, I know his family. Like, yeah, it's been tough, but I got through it. And I got through the shows. Nothing hiccuped too hard, and I think that was Monday or Tuesday. It's been a few days now, so. But other than that, I'm great.
Okay. Well, sorry for your loss.
Yeah, thank you.
And Gary, how about you, sir? How are you doing?
Oh, doing well. So just hanging in there, working, and just got some letters from my son from Navy boot camp today. So I'm gonna be reading those. See what's he.
Oh yeah,
you're on the program.
Yeah. Well, yeah, just now. Like my wife.
I know. Are you gonna read them here on the program?
No.
Yeah, I think you should.
No, it's personal to Gary. Man. Come on.
He's doing well up there, though.
Manage your callers from the call-in studio web interface.
All right.
You know, boot camp's tough. It just is. It sucks. But he's only got like 3 weeks left.
One big party.
It's kind of like college, I thought.
Yeah,
apparently not. You know, there's no drinking. There's no strippers. I mean, just I guess when they say it's like college, they just mean everybody yelling at you all the time. Get your stuff together.
I don't remember people yelling.
Yeah, except for there's actual consequences where he is. Like in college, you can just flip the person off. You might be kicked out of a class or two, but there are options. Where he is, you can't really do that.
No.
You get a little worked over if you do.
Yeah.
So I'd say there's a difference, man, because there's actually you're not allowed to make some decisions.
No, you're not allowed to make any decisions at all.
There you go.
Like at all.
Yeah,
so.
And that's kind of the whole point. They want to break you in to make sure you know that you cannot make any decisions.
Right.
Not well. Yeah, I mean, and obviously, saying that almost sounds bad, but I mean, if people really look at the perspective, if that wasn't the way, like we wouldn't have a protected country. I mean, they have to. It's one of those you have to operate as a team. You have to.
Yep. And no, you cannot question the orders in the middle of the battle.
So how are you, Tom? I know last week you was under the weather, but you still joined us.
Yep. Made it and doing okay. Pretty much everybody I know who went to that truck conference I had just gotten back from last week had COVID or bronchitis or whatever. Apparently I got off easy. But, you know, you still get groups of people together, and I guess we're just not made for that anymore. To get
because we all weakened our system with masks on for 2 years.
That's what I'm thinking. Because I mean, I can't. It'd be easier for me to name off the people who didn't tell me they were sick last week.
Right. I agree with you. I think that when those kind of things go down, like I remember mentioning to Gary that last year for the St. Louis gig conference, that was one of the biggest positive walkaways from that thing other than it being great too. Is that it's pretty surprising that at that time I was like, it's crazy that nobody got sick. Like usually even those size, whatever, you get people coming in from everywhere. Somebody's going to bring something. And we had COVID. Nobody walked away from that conference with anything going on. It was great.
Well, we've got all sorts of things going on in the world of the gig economy, and actually things that kind of relate back to trucking and transportation in general. So I don't know. When you guys did your thing last night, did you talk much about the EPA stuff?
No, in fact, the stuff I had at the end we didn't get to, and that was what I left for tonight, because that tonight kind of suits that kind of stuff that we talk about sometimes a little more.
Yeah. So those of you who aren't tracking, and a lot of people don't know incriminations there, but those who aren't tracking, the EPA in their wonderful wisdom has decided that they want all car and truck manufacturing to be at, and I don't have the numbers right here in front of me. It's not really important. Okay. But that by the end of the decade, in 2030, will be at like 25% cars will be electric, and by the year 2032 will be at 34%, something like that. Again, the exact numbers aren't important. The idea is that they're going to kind of force the play of electric vehicles, even though it's a completely unproven technology, and there are tons of questions about how this could even happen. And it's kind of ridiculous, but that's the direction they want to go. This, we were all thinking it was ridiculous that California was saying that they wanted to do all this by 2035. And now the feds have jumped up and said, no, I think we ought to start going for 2030.
Yeah.
Again, no infrastructure there. We can't even solve the problem of having enough trucks to have a parking spot. You guys, when you're driving down the highway in the evenings or early mornings, you go by a rest area and you see dozens of trucks kind of just all lined up. It's because they got no place to go. There's no place to go park. There's just
a lot of the old hotels that used to have trucking parking lots in the back. Those are gone.
Those are gone. And so right now, the best estimates are that there's one parking spot for every 11 trucks. So, it cracks me up that, and this is not a new issue. This goes back decades, 20 years. Even though there were laws put in place and said, we're going to provide safe parking for drivers because of all the wrecks that happen when they're parked along the side of the road, because they've been murdered because they're not parked in the right place, and somebody says, "Oh, that guy's over there by himself. I think I'll do that." And we can't solve that problem. How the hell are we going to solve the problem of having enough stations to, the places to plug in your cars and trucks? I mean,
can you imagine a truck stop having to have 300 chargers?
That wouldn't even do anything anyway.
Yeah, and
the amount of time you'd have to be buckled up to one, you'd just have a line of trucks behind you.
Right.
And how's this going to work? Okay, so on a big truck like that, it's going to take, if you have the fast charger and if you have the good battery and all that, and the right weather conditions, which is much more important than I even realized before. If you have everything lined up perfectly like that, you're looking at 5 to 8 hours per truck.
Yeah.
Okay, 5 to 8 hours. Now, how's that going to work? And how do you balance that against the rules about how long truck drivers have to take breaks and all that kind of stuff? Now, add into all of this, too, you've got all the cars. They're going to be parking someplace and trying to recharge as well. I mean, this is going to be bedlam.
One thing I want to add to what you're talking about too, Karen Anderson enlightened me to something I've honestly never even thought about in all of these, because she's very familiar with Dynamex and beyond and before. In all of this stuff, trucking related, all of these studies that give dates, every state, every paper. I mean, she writes for all kinds of publications. She knows all of these places do not have in their equation, not one of them uses in the equation negative factors, setback factors. There are no setback factors on any of these numbers that are already fake, meaning they're just saying if everything were perfect, this might be it. And that's not even true. But when is anything perfect?
Well, a lot of you live up in the north, and I haven't lived up north for 30 years now, 33 years. And I'm being reminded over and over again, don't you remember all the issues with, just your car battery, your cell phone battery, which is a lithium-based battery? How well do they work when you're, who's the most northern person that we have on here today, guys?
Brian, have it your way, is Pittsburgh.
Okay, so Brian could probably tell us that, when he charges his cell phone, it drops down pretty quick when it's 16 degrees outside. And that's, with him, got it in his pocket. Josh, you could probably say the same thing. That cell phone batteries don't work the same way unless you keep them warm. And we're talking about.
We need Bud Soda here. He's like on the Canada border almost.
Yeah. Well, and that's where I'm getting a lot of this is my Canadian friends are telling me they consider this a joke.
Yeah. Well, how it is a joke. I don't mean to say it that way, so point of fact, but it is a joke. They can't, but all of these claims are they have no facts behind them. This is all just somebody using crayons and drawing out a storyboard of a car and then an EV station and then an EV plugged into every house. And it's like, well, where are you going to get the power from? It's like, well, I'm in 5th grade. I'm just using crayons. Don't worry about it. We'll figure that out when we get it. Okay, well, nothing has any merit here.
The facts say that this can't happen. It's going to cost us close to $1 trillion. $1 trillion. We can't even really fathom what that number is. $1 trillion to fix America's power infrastructure system to do what they're talking about doing. And it's going to take a decade or more to do it. We can't, if we start right this second, if we allocate the money and start right this second, we can't get everything built up in time.
No, we also don't have the energy to do this.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Just when we've talked about California, I don't understand how anybody, and even anybody, you were to walk up to anybody in California and say, hey, listen, in 5 years, we're going to be fully electric. What do you think? I would think every single person would be like, you're a moron. Get out of my way, psycho.
Right.
I don't talk to people that are on the street just spewing BS. I don't see how you just don't see it that way. It is that black and white. If you were to say to the person how, I would assume the person telling you that fact would just turn and run.
Yeah.
Because there is no how. And if you were to go down the road of how and start explaining to somebody at that point, you're just making stuff up.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I don't understand why they can't answer some of the most basic questions, even the most basic question. How are we going to do this if every state does its own way of taxation and you drive across multiple states?
I think they should just make us each a country.
Make each state a country?
Yeah.
When it comes to taxation on this kind of stuff, they basically are.
Then we wouldn't be United States.
We're not united at all. This country's as split as every country comes, man. Are you kidding me? Look at the pandemic, and I won't even say my views on it, but just look at it. Look at how people like decided they didn't like somebody anymore because of a decision they made for their own personal self. It's like, I don't like you anymore. Really?
Yeah.
Because we're put into a situation we've never been in before, and we're all going a little crazy, stirred up in the house, and you're going to start passing judgment on people you've known for years? Crazy people.
Yeah. Have it your way. I agree completely. Says, if I'm in office for 4 years, I don't care about 10 years from now.
I was just going to say same thing, Brian, is that, like, look, what do we got left? Basically, I mean, a year and a half before voting, and so this is the end of his cycle. I mean, it's like there's always a lot, but there's always one or two major problems passed from one president to the next.
Right.
Well, and
Like
you
right
also
in the
got to
heart of
remember, during campaign time, Congress and Senate, they don't want to work with the current president either, because he might not be the next president.
Unless it's a party, unless it's
Their
dominated
party.
by that
Right.
party.
Right. But what I'm getting at is, most, like, if we have a Republican in office, Democrats ain't going to want to work with him because he might not be the next president.
Right.
Right. Well, so why do we care? Do we care? I think we have to care because they're allocating funds for this stuff. They're spending my money. They're spending my children's money. They're spending my grandchildren's money for this stuff. And we got a big financial problem going on already. People are saying, we might be going into a recession. Guys, we're there.
Yeah. Didn't we say this like 6 months ago on this very show?
Yeah. And they say, well, we might end up with a war with China. We are at war with China. It's not the kind of war that our fathers fought. It's a different kind of war, but we are at war.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we're at war for lithium, for medication-based stuff. We're at war for power. Not the power like same as previous generations, but for energy in the biggest way ever. It's not like it's not like going back to nuclear and saying, I mean, unless it's for energy, but it's not like going back to nuclear and threatening another country. People don't want to build and waste that money anymore. It's how can we cyber attack? How can we steal this? How can we mine this? How can we?
We're doing that all the time. I don't want to sound like a conspiracy nut or whatever, but this fentanyl thing, this fentanyl plague, for lack of a better word, that we have going on with all these people dying from fentanyl. You know where that's coming from?
Which part?
The fentanyl.
The CIA? Oops, I didn't say that.
No.
Sorry, CIA. You're good people.
We got China down in Mexico now with their own factories.
Right.
And they're just pumping this stuff out.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys noticed, I think it was a couple weeks ago, and it's not by any means good, but very under the cover, and they really tried to not let much publicity get out. Biden's tightening down the border, which he said he would never do.
No, he's not. He's going to.
Well, I mean, he is, because it's leading up to the campaign, and it's it's for nothing more than show.
He's going to let this thing expire on May the 10th or whatever it is. They're already massing now at the border so that they can get in here real quick when the Trump stuff ends on May 10th or 12th or whatever it is. There's going to be a mess.
Yeah, I mean, well, we already had a mess, and then it slowed down. So I mean, but my point being, like, when you make the barrier to entry to this country that easy, of course you're going to have people go to Mexico where that barrier to the country's entry is that easy, and start coming in from there. Duh.
Exactly. It's.
Thank you, Red. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't want to turn this into a political show. Really, I don't, because that's not what we're doing. But at the same time,
I don't think that's political, though. That's just being honest.
whether you're talking trucking or talking rideshare or whatever, we live in a very regulated society. The things we're doing, the regulations
that wants to even be more regulated.
And we got more coming and all that kind of stuff. So you can't not talk at least some level. I mean, I'm for the driver.
Right.
Okay. I'm for the driver.
100%. I think we all
Uber
are.
driver, DoorDash driver, Instagram driver, truck driver. I'm for the driver. And I don't really care who's in office. I want to see who's taking care of the driver. Those are the people I care about.
Right.
Those are the people I'll vote for.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, we could do the same thing on the flip side. Look, neither party not only is neither party like clean as a whistle, neither party is even close. They're both equally dirty. So if it was a reverse situation and a Republican president right now, we'd be saying other things that he's doing wrong because both sides are going so over the top with doing things wrong. It's unprecedented.
It really is. Hey, I got to take a break on the radio side. I can't believe it went by that fast, but we're already way past our break point, so I'm going to do that. So we're going to take a quick break there. We're going to be back in just a couple of minutes. You're listening to TNCradio.live on a Friday night. Stay right there.
Thank you again, Red. Did you see Red's comment?
About the beard. Yeah, thanks.
Appreciate
that. I put some time into this thing now,
I'm sure.
I noticed when I was up in Louisville and it was really, really windy one day, and I felt my beard moving and I could see my shadow and my beard was flopping. I was like, wow, my beard's so long it has a shadow in it. Like, does the same.
So when we come back, I didn't do any commercial plug there at the middle. I don't know which. I held off on a few stories last night. I don't know if you saw.
Okay,
we got a couple to choose from that. I've been out working today, but I haven't deep dove into them. But I know what they all are. Like this, the bill to have the governor's restaurants control over which delivery apps can work there. I don't know if you saw the.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if you saw the thing about Kevin Kiley in the Think Advisor article. House panel to hold hearing on DOL indie contractor rule. That does go into effect in May. By the way, you guys, we are 2 weeks out. We're 5 days out from taxes, and we're 2 weeks out from a complete change in the law, at least in the reading
5
of
days
the law.
out from taxes. We're 1 day out from taxes.
No, you got till Tuesday. You got till Tuesday.
Really?
Yeah, Marissa's a tax accountant. You got till Tuesday.
I didn't know that.
But guys, listen, if I've been saying this all week, if you don't have a plan to do it this weekend, or you don't have an exact plan on how you're going to do it and it's not done, file the extension right now. Go to irs.gov, file the extension. Yeah, and then I don't know if you saw the Nevada bill too. When we come back,
let's talk about those.
Yeah, because we didn't cover any of those last night. And then the fact that we have talked about this, but the Washington gave full perks to gig workers, family leave, sick time, vacation, all paid.
Wow. All right, coming back in 5 seconds. In 3, 2, 1. Alrighty, welcome back in on a Friday night. We're live for Driver Nation. I'm Tom. He's Gary. He's Steve. And we're going to be here with you till we're another hour and a half or so, talking all things in the gig economy. We were talking off the air there a minute ago about some of the stories that have come up in the last week, and so where do you want to start, Steve? Which one do you want to start with?
Let's start with the restaurant one, because there's a couple states, but I pulled up the Indianapolis article. But there's a couple states doing this. They're all kind of doing it to get. I mean, it seems like they're all in unison about this. And this is one of those times where it's actually one of those. I don't know if I'll call it a good story, but it's not a bad story for sure. I actually do think it's a good story. That a lot of these governors are actually pushing. And I've wondered why this hasn't been in place anyway. These are the things that made me wonder, when will regulation really ever happen in any way in the gig economy? Because we keep hearing about it, but it never happens. But these are pushing for basically these apps. You know, we all know how these apps have multiple businesses at the same address, the fake ghost kitchens,
right.
The pseudo ghost kitchens, and then how they, if they go to make a deal like DoorDash with a restaurant, they say, no, we're not going to let you charge up our prices and we don't want you to do it. DoorDash often, and not just DoorDash, all of them, then add the restaurant anyway. Just because they figure it's like, well, people are ordering from it. We don't need your permission kind of thing. Well, these governors are putting a foot down on this stuff. They're saying, no, the restaurant has to okay your people being in there. Or the contractors. See, I think It was very confusing because, look, I mean, you have a middleman service saying person A wants to order McDonald's. Will you go pick that up and take it to them? That's the offer we're giving you, the driver. Me, the driver, says, sure, I'll do that. But then McDonald's wasn't the good example. But McDonald's could be saying, we don't want you doing that. Because and here's my point, like, you know, if you're thinking like, we'll make some more money, yeah, but it also puts them behind. It gives them like the problem that Wendy's has, where people stop going altogether because the service has gotten so bad. You know, I mean, it's like they don't know how to staff properly, you know, especially a mom and pop who can't, whatnot. So
didn't I read not too long ago that Uber Eats was getting rid of virtual kitchens?
Yeah, so that's I don't know if DoorDash or Grubhub is. Uber Eats is. You can have one per address now. They're like, pick it.
Right.
You know, I don't even know it's like that. It's like if it's Denny's, they're like, you're Denny's, you can't be Mac sandwiches and this and that and the other two.
They're still doing it. They were last week.
Yeah. It's just a change. It's a change that's happening.
Okay.
And Uber Eats and I think they're smart to do that. I mean, I think people, because look, they don't do anything for the drivers. We know that. But they don't do much for the customers either, let's be honest. So if they're doing it, it's that big of a problem.
Well, I did not know this existed. You guys turned me on to this a month or two ago. I didn't know this was happening at all. It completely escaped me. And I like to think that I catch a lot of these things, but this one caught me by surprise. And even right now, well, I haven't looked since we started the show, but as of last week, there's still a burger place that's also the IHOP.
Yeah, I mean, if there are I'm calling them pseudo ghost kitchens because if you remember, Travis Kalanick was kind of the guy who, even though it might have been out there, when he left Uber, he was the one immediately that says, I'm going to do ghost kitchens. And he said what they would be, locations where nobody except for people picking up delivery stuff would go. So it wouldn't be a location where you can walk into. It would be based on literally just having workers that dish it out to drivers, period. And now it's like they're using the ghost kitchen terminology, but it's not what it is anymore. Now it's like Denny's saying, we have 3 restaurants. Well, you only have 1 kitchen. Yeah, but we have 3 restaurants in that kitchen. Well, a grilled cheese is on the Denny's menu and then your grilled cheese business. And it's the same grilled cheese. So, I mean, I think they've had enough of that.
Well, what I think a lot of it is too, is customers are complaining because like, if I look at the Uber Eats app and I order something and, it's like, oh, this restaurant looks fancy. And then I find out it's Denny's.
Right.
Because it's not like they changed containers. They still ship it in the Denny's containers. And so now you're overcharging me with this food that's supposed to be a better quality food, and I'm getting Denny's.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, and that's my point. I mean, if you were Uber Eats, often they don't do anything for the driver or the consumer, but to be honest, why wouldn't you take this off? What if somebody hates Denny's and they see this other place? They're like, never heard of that place. I'll order from there. You just got Denny's, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like Tom said, like he looked at one and it was a burger joint, and I've looked at one too, and they have like a grilled cheese double cheeseburger or something like that. And I was like, oh, that looks good. And then once I found out it was IHOP.
Okay, guys, here. They may be doing this on Uber Eats, but they're not doing it yet. Let me show you.
No, it's PR at this point, but they put it out there.
Okay, well, Denny's 2735 Bay Area Boulevard. And then if I type in grilled cheese.
I can't remember what the Denny's grilled cheese place is called. It actually has a name, but they're in most states.
I'll go back 2 spots here. Give me a second. Where was it? The Meltdown is also at 2735 Bay Area Boulevard.
And there's probably another. Or there could be. We have oh no, it's IHOP. Our IHOP has 3.
Do they charge more for the Meltdown grilled cheese than they do Denny's?
Great question. So let's look. The Meltdown at 2735 Bay Area Boulevard, the classic Meltdown, which is just a grilled cheese, is $7.80. And the let's see what else they got. They got the breakfast.
How much does it cost on the Denny's menu?
No, I'm going to go look in a second. So
it just sounds so funny, though. If you get it from this restaurant, well, how much is it on the other restaurant?
Right.
Same kitchen.
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting if it's not the same. So classic Meltdown $7.80, and the breakfast is $9.88. So let me go look at Denny's now.
We got $7.80 and $9.88.
Those are just 2 random examples that I picked up there.
Maybe they give you a pickle with the $2 more one. I don't know. I mean, like
now here's one thing. Like I pulled it up real quick, and it says the gourmet grilled cheese. This is Denny's we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, guys, I think both of you remember I brought in the example of a place here that literally runs one. It's one business, but it literally runs 24/7 and does have 3 kitchens that run 3 different menus. It's actually a great business model.
That's completely different than a ghost.
But yeah, I mean, but that's kind of my point. So there's 3 out of the same address, though, is my point. But this is a thing now where they're just like, well, people hate Denny's. Let's just call it something else too, and not change our name, but add another business to this location. It's like they DBA 5 times and then open them all.
Right.
So you can't buy the same sandwich at Denny's as you can at Denny's. Interesting.
They don't have a grilled cheese at Denny's?
No, not that you can order online anyway.
Really? I almost want to order one from the place, from the.
Well, that's what I was looking at.
Go pick it up, and then like put a burger in it, take it back, and be like, dude, this person ordered a grilled cheese. And then when they're like, we don't have that, I'll be like, I just picked it up here. What do you mean? Like they said they ordered it from here. They not? And they're like, oh, you mean, yeah, your fake kitchen. Like have the fake kitchen make the grilled cheese. And then be like, gotcha, it was a grilled cheese. You do have grilled cheese.
Okay, yeah, my Denny's does not have a regular grilled cheese, but they do have a brisket grilled cheese.
Right. And that's the same here. But you can't get the brisket grilled cheese out of the cheese place, whatever I called that a minute ago.
Have you?
Wild.
Here's my question: did Denny's have a grilled cheese? Because I feel like they did. Did they have a grilled cheese before this other restaurant existed?
I feel like they did.
I mean, I feel like they were stupid not to.
They have
all the
they have a
ingredients
kids
to make
menu.
Yeah.
But my point is, did they take the grilled cheese off because they made a grilled cheese place?
Yeah, good question.
You know, it's like if a hamburger, you know, like what Big Boy was doing this too. Big Boy had 2 ghost kitchens running out. You know,
a quick Google search here says it's on the breakfast menu. Why would a grilled cheese be on a breakfast menu?
I don't know. Also, Chuck E. Cheese had these pseudo kitchens going because their cheese tastes like cardboard. I'd be pissed if I ordered if I was doing anything to not get Chuck E. Cheese and then got Chuck E. Cheese, it'd be bad.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, look right here. Yeah, Moon's Over Miami's. It's just a grilled cheese with ham on it.
Well, but you can't order that from the other place. So,
can you get a grilled cheese and then add ham?
great question. Yeah,
grilled cheese plus hammy.
Yeah.
Give me my moons over my hammy. I want it from the grilled cheese side.
So what did I say the name of that place was? Grilled cheese. I'm going to get back to it. Let's see. The Meltdown. So can I get a grilled cheese with ham on it at the Meltdown? What is that? No, that's... Nope. Let me try. If I go here.
I don't have a Meltdown in.
I can add bacon to my grilled cheese, but I can't add ham.
What if you put in like $100 order and then said, unless you put ham on that one, I don't want it. Okay, we will, because you're Denny's and you know it. That's
but I guarantee that's why the backlash is from all these customers. Is I guarantee you somebody was ordering, and they ordered from whatever that place is called, the grilled cheese place, and then they ended up calling the restaurant because something was wrong, and they're like, Denny's, how can I help you?
Yeah, or people just started doing what we did weeks ago, or whenever we were talking to Tom about this the first time. And we just started noticing, wait a minute, if you look at these places, they're all in the same building.
Yeah.
And I know that building. It's an IHOP. What the heck's going on?
Right.
I mean, don't. I got no problem if you're running if you literally are running 3 kitchens. Optimize your business as best you can. But they should be 3 different kitchens. I mean, you can't just be saying, yeah, it's just Denny's with 3 names, so don't worry about it.
Okay. Do you guys like sandwiches?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you like cheesecake?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like fresh strawberries?
No.
Yes.
Okay. But now you can get Treatin' Myself Melt from the Meltdown, which is everything added together.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
Everything added together.
You want a grilled cheese with strawberries?
It's 2 thick pieces of bread. They're,
like Texas toast.
Texas toast, right? Yeah. And in the middle is cheesecake and fresh cut up strawberries.
That's nasty. Just saying that's nasty.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can think of nastier things than that, though.
I think I'm going into sugar shock just by reading it.
I think you should order it, Tom, now and try it.
No. Though I love all of that together, no, it's not.
It's for science.
I mean, it's almost like you don't even. I know. I was gonna say for the science reason, Gary. I feel like when this show's over, I could just drive over to IHOP like some irate customer. The heck you telling me this is Grilled Cheese Shack? I hate your restaurant. Give me a manager. I hate this place, and I thought I was getting a different restaurant. What are you doing? Having another restaurant with the same food?
Okay, so I picked a couple of things that have to be. I know they sell French fries at Denny's, so I'm going to see if that is the same cost.
And Instacart delivers furniture for free. They do. Over $45. Sorry, $35.
Yeah, like Red said, they must cater to a lot of drunk people.
Here's my thing, though. You guys know I spent many a year in the bar and restaurant industries. I will tell you this. I am very confused how they're getting by health checks because I'm all too familiar with them. I have no idea how they're getting past those. Because the health department will show up and they need a license for every kitchen operating.
Every kitchen, yeah.
So they're going to say, why are there 3 kitchens at this location and what the hell's going on?
All right, so the exact same French fries at Denny's are $4.25. The exact same French fries cooked in the exact kitchen coming from the other place are $3.38.
Denny's ripping people off.
Maybe it's one's a better fryer that they clean more often.
I doubt that. So. I doubt that too. Don't try and talk to us like we've never worked in a kitchen, Steve.
The old beaten coolers are on the Denny's side, and they bought 2 new ones for over here.
Yeah, right.
I'm just, I've got no excuse. I mean, there is no excuse.
Right.
I think that's why Uber's calling them out, because I think Uber's smart enough to go, again, we talked about last night how, Dara doing the rides. It's just PR, even though this time it feels different. A lot of people are talking about it differently. It's just PR. I feel like, this kind of crap that's why Uber, they want the PR, but they know that here very soon, things like this are going to happen. Regulations are going to come down. So why not get ahead of it and pretend like you're all for it? Let's close these kitchens down. Because we all know if there was no regulation coming down and it made Uber more money and there was no threat, they wouldn't have said that.
Right.
Period. It's not like they have a moral compass and the company's like, oh, I think morally we should. No. In fact, I'm pretty sure that to get hired in at the level you'd communicate with the high ups at Uber, they make sure you have a broken moral compass and that you don't care about humanity.
Okay, so the fresh fruit is $3.38 at the grilled cheese place. Same kitchen, same fruit. It's $3.83 at Denny's.
Yep.
I have a problem with this.
Yeah, we all do. If you don't want Denny's, you don't want Denny's. It doesn't help to rename it. The person's still going to get Denny's. You're not going to trick them, and they're going to be like, "This is the best food I've ever had. Glad I didn't get Denny's." Like, they're going to know.
Yeah, because it's going to say Denny's on the container.
Well, I was thinking about that, Gary. They're probably really smart if they've just gone to generic containers and just even the Denny's.
I know whenever I pick up from my Denny's, it says Denny's on the container.
I know that, but if you pick up from your that Denny's, but you're buying from the whatever I said the name of it was, that they don't have different packaging for that.
I would just make a styrofoam package with a question mark on the top.
We don't know which kitchen you're getting today.
I can't. My cooks are too stupid to actually pull the right ones down. You could be getting a Denny's package with the grilled cheese place.
Yeah, we can't have that. Right. Wild. All right, we're going to take a break on the radio side. We'll be right back. TNCradio.live. Stay right there.
All right. Do I got a second to run a couple things?
You do. Go.
Right.
Are you a DoorDash delivery driver? Would you like to be safer and less stressed while driving and earn more at the same time? The Driver's Utility Helper app allows you to do just that. Create custom filters and its automated system does the work for you, automatically declining unwanted low-paying requests and accepting more profitable requests so you can focus on driving. Visit acceptordecline.com to get started today.
Going crazy. DJ, this a hit.
Boom.
All right, we're back. All right, guys. Should I give away $1,000 or wait till next hour?
I think you should do it in this hour.
Okay.
I think you should do it right now.
Okay. I'll do it when we come back.
We should do it at commercial break. You give it to either Gary or I, or split it for us.
Oh, okay. That's a good idea. or maybe not.
Yeah, smack that thumbs up if you can, if you're in here. And also, I always say this: if you guys are able to, if you're at home, if you're not out working, or if you're able to, if you got another phone, whatever, if you're watching this on YouTube, open up TNCradio.live, hit play, and mute it on that tab. Or as Gary says, download the app, or take another computer, put it on TNCradio.live. Check out TNCradio.live on the website or the app over the weekend. All kinds of things.
You shouldn't be watching YouTube while you're out driving anyway.
So true.
No, that's what TNC Radio is all about.
Well, I think a lot of people just have it on, and unless they're between, I think when they're driving, they're not watching, they're just listening.
Yeah, right. Because people never would do that.
Well, I mean, you know how you can minimize YouTube on the window now and still be looking at like an app, so you're not seeing it. I'm just saying.
Just saying.
I mean, Tesla has a 22-inch monitor you can be watching this on and driving, and let their autonomous drive you around. But if the autonomous gets in a crash, it's your fault.
It's your fault.
It's beta. And as Gary always reminds us, beta means nobody's responsible.
Not my fault.
The company is not responsible. You are. It's your fault. What would really be funny is if it tried something aggressive, a Tesla, and then it's like, your fault for using this car. And it displayed that on the screen or something.
Right. Ooh, that sounded like that hurt.
Yeah.
Too bad for you. Okay, when we come back in 18 seconds, we'll have 6 minutes, 48.0 seconds to go. Yes. Okay, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Wrong place. Here we go. Welcome back in TNCradio.live. I'm Tom. He's Gary. He's Steve. Guys, you heard just that one note. You heard it twice. What song was that I accidentally played right at the beginning? Did you pick it up?
I didn't. I wasn't even thinking, and I don't know if he gave enough time, but
yeah, I just wondered if anybody would know that off the top of their head. I would, if that's all I heard and had to name that song. I would know what song it was.
Wait, can you play it again?
That's because I'm old. Okay, here we go.
Just the portion you did or whatever?
Yeah. Here we go.
I don't know.
Nobody?
No. Something in the 60s.
I do just a little
Something
bit.
in the 60s.
Oh, because it has that bop horn entrance. It's just
How about
something
that?
A game show, to be honest.
It is. Which
Is it the
game show?
Newlywed Game?
No.
Oh,
You're close.
Let's
You're
Make a
very
Deal?
close. You're very close. It's the
Let's Make a
dating
Deal.
game. It's the dating game.
There you go.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So, how about if we give away $1,000? Does that sound all right?
Yeah, I mean, just go ahead and transfer it to me, Tom. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Well, I can't transfer it to you, but what I can do is give you today's keywords. And if you go to TNCradio.live or use the TNCradio.live app, just go out there and put in your information. Now, each keyword and your information must be put in separately. But if you do that, and let's see, pop this back up here and paste there. Boom. Okay, I put that out there for those of you who are using YouTube. You just click right over there and go open that up in a different window. Put in your information along with these keywords. And again, each one must be separate. If you put them all together, it does not count. So keyword number 1, blaze. Blaze. BLAZE, blaze. Keyword number 2, cash. 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 SH, cash. Keyword number 3, world, 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 world. And the fourth and final keyword for today, cap, 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 cap. Go right now, go put that information in, and then look for your cell phone to ring around 1 o'clock or so Eastern time on Monday afternoon. If it says it's somebody calling you from Indiana, you go, I don't know who that is, just never mind. Answer it. Because what they do is they pull 5 names. They call the first name, nobody answers, they go to the second name, so forth and so on. And when they're done and we've given away $1,000, you know what they do next? They give away another $1,000. So this is all part of a national contest sponsored by TNCradio.live, Hotshot Secret, thetrucker.com, and the Truckers Network, all part of the Truckers Network radio channels lineup. And so go out there and get your chance to win $1,000. Blaze Cash World Cap. If you don't sign up, I mean, it's free. It takes, 15 seconds to do each one. So maybe a full minute. And you don't have a big audience that you're competing against. It's independent broadcasters from around the nation. And, get out there and see what you can do.
It doesn't take long. I'll tell you that because I just finished all mine.
There you go. Blaze Cash World Cap. So there you go.
I haven't been doing it because what if I won? I could never explain that to everybody. They would call fixed on you and I so quick, Tom, that I.
You are not part of the ownership of the station, so it's
I'm
not.
talking about these people in the chat. They'd be like fixed.
Yeah, good for them.
Well, you know what? That's okay. Everybody can call fixed whenever I win, and I'll go have my dinner with my $1,000.
You can laugh all
and
the way.
He'll live stream it.
Live
so he can watch the $500 steak.
And he can go to Denny's and eat grilled cheese all he wants.
Yeah.
Get him a whole bunch
he'd
of
go to
cheese
Denny's
sandwiches.
if he won $1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to Denny's. If I won $1,000, if I won $10, I wouldn't go to Denny's.
Well, for the record, I really like Denny's, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
I grew up going on my birthday, and in Michigan when I was growing up, Denny's was a little different. Out here in Colorado, I have some better choices, I feel like, in my life now. But I used to love I don't even know if they still do it to the way they did. I know for a while they did take it away. Somebody told me they brought it back, but where you got free meal on your birthday. Because where I grew up in the East Lansing, Michigan area, there was like 3 Denny's that were fairly close. So you could have every meal on your birthday for free.
Oh, there you go. That's a good idea.
Because there wasn't computers or technology that might enter your thing in. So you just went to each one and they just put you on a list that you had used it that day with like a pen.
I don't know.
Name down.
Josh, I might just fly up there and get some Angelos.
There you go. All right. Hey, we're going to break now on the radio side, do the top of the hour news, all that kind of good stuff. We'll be back in just a little bit. So stay right there. All right. We're out on the radio side. Got about a 5-minute break, guys.
All right. I'll play a couple things here then.
Okay.
We'll be back.
Back over.
Are you tired of being limited by the algorithms of the courier apps? Do you want to take control of your earning potential as an independent contractor? Hi, my name is Hannibal, and I run the Hannibal is Hungry YouTube channel. Tune into the Beyond the Algorithm live stream with my co-host Steve, Rideshare Rodeo. In each episode, we share valuable insights and tips on how to achieve income beyond the courier apps and become a true independent contractor. Join us for practical advice and inspiring stories that help you know your worth and maximize your earning potential. Don't miss the Beyond the Algorithm live stream on the Hannibal is Hungry YouTube channel.
Hey, Houston professional drivers. TNCradio.live keeps you on track to make more money with detailed traffic, emergency, weather, and driver information and entertainment. We're Houston's only driver navigation station. Get our app on TNCradio.live, Google Play, or Alexa.
Meet Joe. He is a gig worker trying to make money using his car. He uses multiple gig apps all at the same time to maximize his earnings. But this can be difficult and dangerous while driving. Sometimes the requests come in so fast, Joe can't pick and choose the best trips to take, which can result in lower pay or lower rated disruptive passengers. That was until Joe found Maximo, the automation app that helps gig workers accept and decline trip requests. Maximo will use the filters set by Joe, like time, distance, and rating, to determine which trips are best suited for Joe. When a trip request comes in, Joe doesn't need to worry. Maximo will compare the trip details to Joe's filters and then determine.
Like, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that help. That's what we're all here to help each other. Should be, not to try to knock each other or bash each other or be nice. It's simple and easy. And if you can't be nice, it's most of you've heard the old saying: if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. That still stands true. If you can't be nice, just don't say nothing. But always be willing to listen to what people are saying. Don't be afraid to change. There you go. Because you might learn something by making a change, by listening to somebody else, even though it's a different way of doing something that you're doing. Be open-minded and listen.
I killed the commercial.
It was so hard
over to something.
It was so hard for me not to jump in the middle of that and go, "Oh, shut up!"
About which one?
Where the guys go, "Be nice to each other."
Oh, I love Brandon, man.
Oh, I do, but it's
a message right now. Well, let me say this: you do the radio thing, and the podcast is a lot like that, the audio. But the YouTube community needs a little bit of love, dude.
Oh, I have no doubt.
There's and I get it. I'm not blaming anybody. I get it. You get that tight with your finances and things get that hard, and we're all in the same community and we talk about all this stuff. It's going to come out. I love that. I don't know why.
Yeah, be careful or else I'll start playing them nicest stuff too.
Well, so the guy who was given the positive message, I was doing a live stream on a Thursday night. He came into the chat. I put that on and he's like, "Hey, my future ex-wife." That's pretty funny. Yeah. I see Red comes back, and Josh's last comment is YouTube is toxic outside of live streams. And what the hell did I miss? Yeah, I don't know what you mean then. YouTube is toxic outside of the live streams. To be honest, a lot of the stuff I put out there when it's not live stream isn't toxic at all. It sometimes can be, and I'm not saying in mine, but I feel like it's sometimes more is in the live streams where the toxicity really exists. But K Sports Live, I know you're always in here. Where are you from? I see the Detroit Lions thing. I'm originally from Michigan, so I'm just curious. I've seen you. I know that you only watch this show, or at least I don't think I've seen you in the other chats of things that we do. But yeah, just curious where you're from. Always like to meet Michiganders, but And if you guys aren't watching The Last Mile on Wednesdays, my new show, be watching it. I haven't started a new show in a while. It's got legs already. All right, I'm ready.
Coming back in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back in. We're live on a Friday night. It's April the 14th, 2023. Happy to have you all with us tonight as you're out and about doing your driving. We're also broadcasting if you happen to be at home and want to watch us and see our smiling faces. You're more than welcome to do that. Catch us on YouTube on the Rideshare Rodeo channel. That's the Rideshare Rodeo channel, hosted by our own Steve. Steve, tell us a little bit about what you're doing with the Rideshare Rodeo channel these days.
So the Tuesday audio podcast, Tom, you'll appreciate this, is back to the Tuesday audio podcast. Starting this week, I already did it, so it's not something coming up. It already happened. It's just me. It's an hour. And I'm telling you that because I know that hour will fit in nicely as better than when it was just a lot of different random stuff coming out. So I'm back to that original rodeo audio podcast. And if you're on YouTube and you think you're seeing everything of mine, you're not, because you're not hearing the audio podcast now, which you were before. But now you need to. I could be doing something to YouTube, but I'm not. I'm going to leave that one. I might put little clips up, like one clip a week, and say if you want to listen to the whole thing, check it out on anywhere, literally. My website, you can go to ridesharerodeo.com, you go to Spotify, Apple Music, Google, Pandora, Amazon, or any pod player that there is in the world.
Absolutely.
But also for the YouTube side, the Last Mile thing that I was talking about before we came back to the radio side, the Last Mile is for Curry, Amazon Flex even, Dispatch, some Roadie even, all the mothership, all the courier apps out there. And I'm going to tell you guys something. Right now on my phone, I'm not onboarded to all of them, but right now, and I've only downloaded the ones that one per week I'm going to onboard to. And right now I have 24 last mile delivery apps. That's more than rideshare, food delivery, and grocery apps all put together. There's more last mile apps.
But do they pay?
Yeah. I mean, the ones I'm using, yeah. I mean, some don't have as many offers, but Gary, I mean, we all multi-app.
Yeah.
So if you start learning the last mile space, you just get them all. Then there's a lot of work.
Yeah, I finally got a curry offer yesterday.
I told them to start sending them your way.
Yeah, they need to.
But I said, Gary's been a good boy. Let him off the hook a little.
Can they send them like earlier in the day? Because this is like at 6 p.m. And I was like,
I'll talk to him. What time do you want them?
Yeah, I mean, 8-ish in the morning would be great.
8:15 it is, man.
Start my day out right.
So you won't take the 5:30 a.m. scheduled.
No. You're still willing to drive down to Houston to pick up the paint, right?
Yeah, Steve is. Yeah.
No, I'm asking you, Gary.
Oh yeah, I mean, $8,000. I'm there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll drive down there. I'll pick it up, put it back down, and then fly home.
Now that we know what kind of girl you are, we're just negotiating on price.
Look, anybody in the gig economy can say they don't do certain things, but if you start offering a lot of money, I'm talking ungodly amounts that just don't even seem right, they'll do it. Everybody's got a number.
Everybody's got a number. This is what I'm saying. Everybody's got a number.
Yeah. I've learned that as I get older. Like, I would never. It's like,
how long is it going to take?
How much are we talking here? Is there jail time? How much? And how long will it take?
That's right. All right, let's hit another story that we haven't talked about yet. So give me, what's another one here?
I like the, I got to say that I like the Think Advisor story, the House panel to hold the hearing on the Department of Labor independent contractor rule, because guys, this goes into effect in May. It's a big deal. The House Subcommittee on Workforce Protections, chaired by, and again, doesn't matter if you like Republicans or Democrats. This is why I'm a registered independent. because you should be able to go and watch this guy that I'm about to name. And if you're in the gig economy, you should like this guy. What his political affiliation is should not matter to you, because he's trying to fight for the things we really want and need. But chaired by Kevin Kiley, plans to hold. That's why I said it firsthand, man. But hey, Tom,
just messing with you.
Because he's got. I mean, he's even got the truckers. I mean, he's like got everybody's back.
No.
But plans to hold a hearing on April 19th on the Department of Labor's independent contractor rule, which the labor is finalizing in May. So the hearing is titled "Examining Biden's War on Independent Contractors." That's what he named it. The last thing our economy needs right now is overreaching federal policies that discourage work and attack workers. That's Kiley's statement. I love it. It's simple, it's to the point, and it's straight up. And he says, yet the DOL's independent contractor rule and the PRO Act, like Assembly Bill 5 in California, do just that, depriving millions of Americans of the opportunity to work independently and start their own businesses, Kiley continued. The Biden administration is all in on the failed policies, even nominating the architect of the disastrous AB 5 law, Julie Su, to head the labor. Goes on to say that she needs to be gone, that she should not be. And I know Biden's getting a major push about that. I think he finally is about to pull her out. He's not going to have her even try and get her pushed. Because who was it? It's always causing a mess. Kevin McCarthy. So challenging thing. So McCarthy put a stop to the Julie Su thing. If I saw it correctly yesterday, or at least something that Biden is going to have to put a stop to it, because she cost California. And you didn't hear me wrong, guys. When I had Karen Anderson on, she told us Julie Su during the pandemic was the person at fault for the people who needed money, the pandemic money. All states lost a little. She lost the state of California over $10 billion. You did not hear me wrong. That's $10 billion.
10 billion.
And now she's supposed to. That was when she was the California AG. Now they want her to be. Biden wants to put her into what's his name's
AG. She wasn't the AG. She was in charge of essentially the Department of Labor of California.
Oh, right. Sorry. Right. I'm thinking because what's her name? She didn't get it, but Lorena Gonzalez was going for the AG. And I was thinking to myself, that's one job you can't sleep your way into, honey. You know. Sorry, she slept her way to the top, you guys. If you're not familiar with her, look up Lorena Gonzalez. It just shows a train wreck. It doesn't even have articles. So, but go ahead and look her up. She's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so who was it? Oh, Marty Walsh. Marty Walsh held the position before they want Julie Su. And Marty Walsh took a smart decision and decided to run the players union for the NHL for whatever, 25, 50 times as much money.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
Well, I wouldn't have stuck around with the sinking Biden ship either. If somebody was offering me 50 times the pay to get out of something that was sinking and go work with NHL, sure. He's old enough. He's been around the block. He's had fun with politics. It's time for some hockey. Hey, man. Again, we just earlier determined everybody's got a number.
That's right.
There you go. So what he said that he was going to be, if you're not familiar with Marty Walsh, by the way, he was as gung-ho as Biden about the PRO Act. So that was like supposed to be his achievement of his life. He wanted to see that go through. So that's why I'm saying he has a number, because he threw it into the toilet when he was offered 50 times the amount of money. Obviously that's not, and I point that out because nobody should. We know that a lot of politicians get money they shouldn't be getting outside of a small salary type thing that we often don't hear about or whatnot. But, for him to leave for that much. It's not just the pay. I mean, I just don't think he wants anything. I don't think even he believes in how hard they're pushing and how far they want to take it. But Julie Sue does, and that's the problem. We do not need. Look, you guys can do your own research on it. Look up Julie Sue. If you think she's got a good history, you'll actually see, if you look up her history, you'll be like, why is this person in charge of even a McDonald's? Like, seriously. I mean, if you can lose $10 billion, you should be not in charge of money or employment. So
why don't these companies employ me? I can lose money like that.
You said that about Lyft. That was funny, dude.
Yeah,
I could get them in the gutter just as quick for like half as much.
Yeah, I was going to say you can do it twice as fast for half as much.
Exactly.
That's right.
And, I'm okay with being the fall guy too. Blame me all you want. Just keep paying me.
That's right.
I even have a very political answer. You know, what happened? I suck. I'm going to tell you. Morons keep paying me.
Yeah. I mean, it's so nasty, you guys. There's more to this, and there's other articles that came out this week on this. I would say, if you really want to look into this at all, really all you need to Google is Department of Labor rule change 2023. And from there, you can do your own deep diving. There's a ton to do. So
there really is, and we owe it to ourselves to become educated on this stuff and to be able to speak to it in a very proper way. And look, if you do decide you're going to write your congressman about this stuff, this isn't the time to blast them about everything you think they've ever done wrong. If you're going to write your House of Representative or your state representative or state Senate or the U.S. Senate, be polite, be firm, be clear, and you'll find that, and especially if you ask good questions, they kind of have to answer your questions, reasonable questions. So, you can, put something in writing and say, hey, this is very important to me. Why do you think that works or doesn't work or whatever? And, if you're respectful, you'll get an answer. May not be tomorrow. Sometimes it takes days or even weeks before they'll answer, but they'll answer.
Here's another thing too, guys. You can email, you can do all kinds of way of contacting. I did have a tip given to me that I have never shared. I forgot about it from Kim Cavan long time ago when I first met her. If and when you want to ever write, and like Tom said, don't go off on everything. If you want to write something, it doesn't even need to be like perfect grammatically everything. Just make sure you're clearly saying what you want to say. But Kim had recommended go spend $2 and send it registered mail to the office of.
Yeah.
So that you have a receipt of when it was signed for. Even email doesn't prove that it got there. That is one way to prove. And she tries to get all of her groups to do that, to prove they sent things. Because then if we didn't get that, they're like, yes, you did.
Yeah, it came in at 3:15 p.m. on October the 8th. And
it's not like email. They can't say we didn't, maybe it went to junk. No, you signed for it.
That's right.
Your office signed for it.
Yeah. So
just a thought. It's $2.
Yeah. That's worth it, and something to consider. So even though I'm not a fan of either political party, and I think we lack real leadership in this country, I am a fan of us writing them and letting them know what we think, because a lot of times they make decisions based on what some lobbyist says or whatever. When they get enough email or regular mail or certified letters or whatever from people saying, hey, you really need to be doing this and not that, they tend to listen. They kind of have to.
Right. Yeah, they do have to.
Yeah.
I mean,
so just put that out there, give it some thought, consideration, and, jump in, go for it.
Do you need to run a commercial break?
We're coming right up on one. So let's go ahead and do that now. And we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. You're listening to TNCradio.live. Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned.
All right. We don't need to put this one on the radio, but I do think it's funny. Every week we talk about, if you guys didn't see the show last night, the round table, it was a really good one too, you guys. Or I enjoyed it. It's been a tough week, and I very much enjoyed it. But one of the stories Gary did was was the Instacart order, and they keep getting worse, you guys. This story just keeps. It's insane. It's like I feel like Instacart shoppers are reading the articles we talked about a month ago. Oh my gosh, people are adding little things to Instacart bills, and then people are like upping that game and going, wait, you can do that? And now, as of yesterday, only in Memphis, according to Memphis Fox 13, you can put $1,000 worth of dog food onto a customer's bill, and you won't go to jail. You'll just be kicked off the platform.
Yeah, but I mean, it's 200. Let's say that because they get 20% tip. Is $200 really worth being kicked off of a platform?
Instacarts?
Steve's like, I'll do it for $20. No, I'm just saying, like, I mean, first off, stop scamming people. Yeah, but if you're gonna do it, don't do it for chump change.
Look, I have no idea why the Instacart app. Now that, and you know me, Gary, I haven't done a ton of Instacart, but I've been doing a lot of dumplings. So now doing that and knowing in-store prices and how Instacart works better, I am very curious why they just simply don't have hey, when you select an item, select a backup item in case, where there is no contact, period. And if they don't have that item and they don't have the backup, you don't get it, and there's no contact, so that you can't add anything to the thing. Because I don't know how Instacart shoppers are adding $1,000 of dog food. That seems just like the dumbest system ever.
Yeah, I think the customer should have to approve when it's scaled up that much from the original price. Customers should have to hit approve for that to even be considered an option. Yeah. You know, I don't think we should take away the ability to add stuff, because it does increase their tip based off that. But
right, but
like I said, there has to be some kind of prevention to stop this.
Yeah. You know, I mean, maybe it's as simple as take a picture. Like if you're going to add an item, like do one of those, like where it pauses you in the app and says, hey, get ready, put your eyes and head in the circle.
Oh, sorry. Coming back, guys, in 3, 2, 1. All right, welcome back in TNCradio.live. Happy to have you here with us on a Friday evening. Hope that everything's going well for you. Had some really rough weather this week, and it's going to be even rougher tomorrow from St. Louis down into the eastern part of Texas, part of Louisiana, down into Mississippi, that entire area under the bullseye for some rather severe weather. Guys, aren't you glad that you're not driving Uber in Fort Lauderdale this week?
Well, there might be somebody doing it.
Oh,
hey, if somebody is, call in right now.
Yeah, they're having a rough day, rough week. I mean, what was interesting, I don't know if you saw this or not, when the airport closed, they, of course, part of what they did was shut down Uber and Lyft from picking up passengers. When the airport reopened, that was the first thing they did, was they announced Uber and Lyft are now available. And that was like at 3:30 in the morning. And they said that the line to get out of there and get on an Uber or Lyft was really rather high. But then they had to close the airport down again. But at least they get a lot of the people out. A strange thing happened as a part of all of that. If you had carry-on luggage and you're at the Fort Lauderdale airport a couple of days ago when they'd all shut down, if you had carry-on luggage, no problem. You were upstairs where the restaurants are and comfortable seating, all that kind of stuff. But they told everybody who had checked their baggage to go downstairs and claim their bags. So they did. What they didn't tell them was, but we already took your boarding pass, so you can't come back upstairs. So everybody who claimed their bags had to sit downstairs in baggage claim with no seats, one vending machine that was empty in about 20 minutes, I think, and really horribly uncomfortable conditions for 8, 9, 10, 12 hours, something like that. I mean, it was really a mess.
Yeah, I mean,
they were not thinking that one through at all.
I gotta say, it seems like there'd be 100 solutions, but what do you do? I mean, because even though you got the planes grounded, I mean, it is, it's just like we were talking about, like with Gary's son. Like they are taught that when that plane gets there, that crew teams it and gets that luggage down. Boom.
Yep.
No matter the weather or what, and then they got to send it through. They don't have storage facilities for luggage and that kind of tagging system, so they have to send it through to the carousels. There's no choice.
And so everybody's told, go get your luggage. But I guess, Steve, the part that kind of caught everybody off guard was they didn't tell them that they weren't going to be able to get back upstairs.
Yeah, they should treat it like a bar, just giving you a stamp. Like,
something. They could have done something.
You coming back?
Yeah, it was kind of like, oh, did you go downstairs? You went past the security checkpoint? I'm so sorry. And you don't have a boarding pass? Yeah, that sucks to be you, doesn't it?
I doubt anybody said that, but that's funny.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what happened.
To be you.
Yeah. So, I'm watching the transportation industry the way that I do. I see these things sometimes, and I just, it's just these shake your head moments where you're just going, what are they thinking? What are they thinking?
I don't know. What is Nevada thinking? Did you look at that, Tom?
No, I haven't seen that one yet. That was the one I was going to ask you to tell me about that one. So tell me what's going on with Nevada.
So this is great. No other state has seen this. I mean, other states are even going, what? So rideshare companies, Uber and Lyft, are lobbying heavy, and I mean heavy, and they're willing to go way more all in than they even did on AB5 against a new bill, Senate Bill 125, SB 125, Nevada. It just recently came out. The bill that they claim will fundamentally alter how they operate in Nevada. So it goes on to say, this is unprecedented legislation. This bill has this language does not exist anywhere else in the entire United States, said the public affair managers for Uber in Nevada. So at some level, there's a lot of unknowns, but our expectation is that the bill will significantly increase prices for riders, but it will not lead to a corresponding increase in pay for drivers. And this is the Uber person saying this. Under current it's that government internet. Well, anyway, right now it's about 50. I can't get down to what it is. I think it's 50,000 that they need to carry when you're in phase 1 before you have a passenger.
Right.
And then phase 2 is you are on your way to the passenger. Phase 3 is you've picked them up. You're taking them to the destination.
Right.
Every driver during phase 2 and 3. So 2 is you're still alone in your car just driving to them. But during phase 2 and 3, Uber has to insure every ride for $1.5 million.
Wow.
It is undoable. I mean, it's undoable. If I get you guys would need to understand, if they're throwing down 50 grand right now, if that's kind of like what the insurance number is based on, you do the math.
Well, it says here though that they already do the 1.5 million. That's what it says. Uber and Lyft in Nevada
I can't get into the article, bro.
It says Uber and Lyft in Nevada already carry more insurance than any other car on the road. So every time you get into an Uber, you have a million.
Maybe it's up then. Keep reading because I can't move it down. Maybe it's because it's up. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's more than every other state in the country, and it's more than every other car on the road in Nevada.
Right, but they're talking about this bill killing it beyond. So you're talking about now.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Currently, they already do 1.5 million. So
right,
this means that it's going to go higher.
Right. Yeah, I can't get to mine. In fact, my computer's going crazy. I feel like somebody's taking control of it or something. Seriously, I'm going to hard shut it down. Some cursor's moving around and everything. Gary, did you just hack my computer?
Nope, it's your government internet. I'll tell you.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I mean, in short, they're not giving out any numbers of what the new one's going to be.
But it's enough to make Uber.
It's going to go up, and Uber's saying that, it's going to cost too much. We're going to have to raise fares. People will stop taking it because the fare is going to be so high.
And they admittedly said the driver's not going to get any of it.
Right.
I mean, that's pretty weird out of the gate.
Well, I mean, why would the driver get any of it, though, if they're paying more insurance?
Well, no, they wouldn't. But I'm surprised Uber's advertising it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I guess they're just trying to placate to the people who will be voting because, look, I mean, this is what it is. Seems like to me is Nevada's a perfect state to test this because you got Las Vegas, you got Reno. After that, you really don't. You got Carson City, maybe, and another one or two kind of smaller cities, much smaller too. We really don't have a lot of population outside of Las Vegas and Reno metros, and their cab industries are destroyed by rideshare. So why not, right? Why not let the cabbies have it back? It's almost like why not let the cabbies have it back and make it not possible for Uber and Lyft?
This is a terrible article because it doesn't even say what they're imposing.
You can click the bill itself. Oh, that's why I'm losing. I got to go to crap camera. Hold on.
No, there's not even a link to the bill in this article. That's what I was trying to find is what are they imposing that's so bad that they're saying, we're going to have less riders. Because that's what they're saying in here, Steve, is if the cost increased for riders, it would make the roads unsafe because instead of riders taking Uber and Lyft, they would just drive home drunk, which that doesn't make any sense either.
Right. So, I don't know which date you're on Rideshare Rodeo. I've got 3 articles from the past 4 days on there.
I am on today's date, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
so I don't know. There's other ones.
14.
I don't know which one I had pulled up. It might have been from yesterday's, maybe. And if not, it was 4 days ago. But there's ones that go to the bill anyway. You guys can look up the bill. Again, I just hard crashed my computer that I had open. This thing, it's my old computer. It might just be done. That might have been it. But anyway, this bill is. I think it's almost like no negotiations. It's to terminate the rideshare industry.
But do you really think that? I mean, because we already know that just because you raise the cost doesn't mean people will stop using service. Look at Seattle?
I think it's to make a deal, dude. I think it's to, hey man, then you guys pay us tons of money. I think that's what it is. I think the gaming. I mean, look at Nevada. The gaming commission pretty much runs the state. And they want, if you do anything in Nevada, they want a piece of it.
Which I mean, I understand that too.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, just because you raise prices doesn't mean that people are going to quit using it. Because I'm sure in Seattle they had to raise the price too because they have to pay a lot more money to the drivers, so they had to raise the prices there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point that we should be getting some screenshots from customer side in Seattle and seeing what they are seeing for rates. But because I wonder how much a raise actually is. I think they know they need to raise it $8, let's say on a ride, but you're only seeing $1. They're doing over a time period.
Well, I mean,
really, right now they should be jumping up 8 on every ride.
And here's another good example. Whenever I went to NYC, every Uber I took for 3 miles was $30 plus, every single one.
Yeah.
And talking to those Uber drivers, they're busy all day long.
Right.
So people are still taking rides.
Part of the deal, though, with the state and the Teamsters was that because, I mean, there's some money getting kicked their way too. This was to keep unions out. This was their own Prop 22 type thing. But it's some of the funding that they have to make up for during the first 2 years or whatever the wording says is given by the state. So it's not a complete loss by Uber Lyft. If they are raising prices on customers, they might, again, I don't think they're going to be like it. I don't think they doubled. I think they'll be doubling in about a year. Because when they make these deals, the government comes in and says, hey, we'll subsidize the first year so that you guys can slowly do it.
Right. And like I said, I don't think it's going to stop people from taking Uber and Lyft. I mean,
no, okay, let's say it doesn't, dude. I mean, it's Vegas. The cab industry has died. It's not beat up. It's dead. Right. But let's be honest. Okay, let's say it doesn't. It's just another state fall into some way over the top legislation.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing.
I mean, let's make that the biggest point. Let's make that the biggest point because it is way over most of these states. I mean, look at the Connecticut thing we've talked about. I mean, this is not even, it's just a joke. But yet there are people in power going to put these things in place. Like, you go, no, dude, that's so stupid. That wouldn't work in Connecticut. Well, they're going to do it. I think they're going to get backhanded, to be honest. I think that it won't be long before, again, they'll have to like make it so that it somewhat looks decent for them too. Like they weren't as stupid as making that decision, but they'll have to bring them back. And then they'll work out a deal with the ride shares and the deliveries. And that's just, it's like their opening bid, but they're going all in. And so they're going to try and make this work, but it's unworkable. We talked about that last week.
I don't know if you actually read this, but they actually mentioned autonomous vehicle in this bill as well.
Yeah. Remember I rode one there.
Well, no, I'm just saying they do mention it.
They don't mention they don't work though.
Oh, they call it monitored autonomous vehicle.
Dude, I told you, everybody knows. First one I ordered broke down. They had to tow it back, and then they texted me and said, "Do you still want to ride today?" And it was about an hour out from when they stopped. They don't do it after 6 or something there. It's not like San Francisco where they only do it at night. It's kind of the opposite, and you got to request one. And so they're like, "Do you really want one? Because there's only an hour left before we close. It'd probably take us the whole hour to get it out there." And I was like, "Yep." That one broke down. These things are junk. Even the engineer told me it was junk.
One whole section in this bill is all about autonomous.
Yeah. But I mean, this is what we all talk about here, Tom, too. I mean, Tom, we all talk about the fact that the autonomous money is, I mean, this is that kind of language is just lying. They don't have it. Yes. It doesn't work.
And CEOs have already gone to jail. That's the part I mean, somebody's going to jail and it ain't me.
Not for that anyway.
Somebody's going to jail.
But yeah, I mean, there's a few different articles. If you guys go to Rideshare Rodeo, otherwise you can look up, again, it crashed on me, but I think it's SB 215 for Nevada Senate bill.
Well, it's SB 125.
125. My computer crashed. I don't have it.
125, 215, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. That should be like their slogan. Whatever it takes to screw you guys over, man.
Yeah, basically.
And drivers, don't worry, you're not going to see any of this. Wait, that's not good though. Right. Yeah, you're not getting any.
All right, we're going to take our last break here, so we'll be back in just a few minutes. You're listening to TNCradio.live on a Friday night. Driver Nation, Tom and Steve and Gary, all with you right here, right now. Stay tuned. All right, we got about 3 minutes, and I will be right back.
Okay. Well, did you hear the sound clear up?
I know. I was just thinking that too. Like it got crystal clear with.
Well, I mean, I wonder if it's because he's running the radio software or what it is. There might be some things he can't fix. I don't know. But wow. Yeah, that's like crickets.
It's
What's
like
when you killed the mic or whatever you did when you killed the video, there was like a humming that went away, like almost like there was an. See, now it's not there.
Yes, it is.
Oh wait, now it's back, but now it's not. Listen.
Yeah,
that's it. Whatever that is, it makes it sound like we're in traffic.
Yeah, I've got something not set right that I'm going to have to figure out, and I just haven't had a chance to figure it out today.
I can't find anything on this 125 that tells me what's actually in the bill.
Yeah, I'll
Later,
sorry. I'll do some. Hopefully, I'll bring something up on 13 minutes tomorrow about it. Because I had
find out what's actually in the bill that's causing this increase. Because nothing I'm reading actually.
Well,
it just tells me it's revision.
Right, you're on a different article too.
Well, I actually looked up the whole bill and everything, tried to find it, but it's just saying that it's a revision of subsection 1, 2, blah blah blah, and revision of this for penalties.
I'll summarize it.
Yeah, like I want to know what's actually.
I'll get it into 13 minutes tomorrow. I already kind of had I have an extra thing that I don't think I can fit, but I'll bump that and make 13. I'll make this at least be part.
Well, don't just come on either and just say, yeah, they're going to raise the cost. No, I want to know why.
I don't think I ever do. I think with 13, man, like last week, I was only able to cover one topic because I had to explain it. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
So you guys, when that happens, that's my selling point to go check out the audio podcast.
There you go.
Yeah, and I'm actually on the audio podcast this month, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at what Tim says. May have to be 14 minutes. But I can't because it's 13 minutes of news and 13 minutes or less.
Yeah. Which audio podcast am I doing? The 25th?
Yeah, and that's the and by the way, guys, I mean, I know most of you aren't probably listening to the audio side of it, but that's the 3-year anniversary. So and that's older than my YouTube channel. Not as old as my website, but
happy anniversary, baby.
I'm actually going to be on Show Me the Money Club on the 25th as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were on it this coming week.
No, the 18th is their 1-year anniversary
for Show Me the Money Club.
Yeah, and so we pushed it back another week.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize they had been around that long because we just had the year anniversary for the round table. They didn't come that quick after us.
I didn't think they did either, but
I'm gonna need to look, dude. I don't know that that's right. I'm just being honest.
That's what they said. That's what he told me in the email.
I mean, I guess it's probably. I feel like it was late summer. To be honest, late August.
Well, we started ours in February, right?
Yeah, and I feel like theirs was like August. I guess I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think I don't know. Maybe when we started getting traction was August. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm talking about them though. I just really feel like it was end of summer when they started that. But I mean, they wouldn't lie. We can look. So
we're gonna go look. We'll call Sergio out. We don't care.
Well, you just go to the lives at Rideshare Guy and you scroll back to the first one and.
Yeah.
Does it say a year ago? If it doesn't, it's a lie.
It says 11 months ago.
3, 2, 1. All right, welcome back in. TNCradio.live. Happy to have you with us here on a Friday night. Getting down near the end, got about 15 minutes left to go in the show. I want to go back here to a minute to the state of Washington Senate unanimously passed a bill this week that would make the first state in the nation to grant ride-hail drivers the right to paid family and medical leave.
Mm-hmm. Paid being the main term. I mean, it's one thing to grant the allowance of time, it's flex. So, I mean, but to get them into the paid system is I don't have my computer article up, so if you want to talk about it a little bit.
Well, I feel like this is wrong.
Yeah, well, I mean,
and I know people are going to be like, "Whoa!" Again, this is part of the world that we've chosen. This is the life that we've chosen. Sound like the guys from what was it, The Godfather? Or The Godfather, Hyman Roth. This is the life that we've chosen. Yeah. I don't want them to grant this across the board, because that means they're not going to go, okay, well, we're going to give these guys some paid medical leave and all that kind of good stuff. So we'll just eat that. No problem.
Yeah. I mean, that's getting into the system. You're now getting into the employee system. So what deals were made behind the scenes? I got something to say on the Washington thing too. Everybody praises the crap out of it. I learned something that kind of blew me away, because I know Seattle had like 3 times the rate of the rest of the state. Like Seattle got huge amounts. You're paying this much per mile. The rest of the state got something decent. But check this out. Zach drives fast. He lives 45 minutes north of Seattle, and he gets no benefit from that state thing. Nothing.
Why?
Because it doesn't apply there.
It only applies in Seattle.
In Seattle, it does, but there's a Washington state that's about a third as much that, like in Tacoma and other stuff, applies, and it's a third the rate. Josh's city or Zach's city isn't that? I think it's Bellingham or whatever it is. Anyway, it's not that much smaller than Tacoma. Tacoma's not huge. So I don't know. I just found that very weird. Like, I thought that was a statewide thing at the lower price, and that Seattle had this carve out because it was just because of the cost of living and all these other things. But now I'm finding out it's not everywhere in Washington. It's Seattle, and it's some select cities.
So going into this bill here, it says that it will grant ride-hail drivers access to the same programs as other workers in the state, which offers up to 12 weeks of paid medical or paid leave if a serious health condition prevents them from working, or if they need to take time off to take care for a family member or a new child. So it's just like if you're an employee.
It's not only just like, it is an employee.
That's what I'm saying.
The only way you have that privilege is if you're an employee anywhere in this country.
It also says the cost of the driver's premiums for the program will be fully paid by the app-based companies like Uber or Lyft, for which the driver works, according to the union. It's not clear how the ride-hail companies intend to fund the program, or whether they'll increase the ride fares in Washington to compensate.
Well, they're going to do 2 things. So yes, they're going to increase the fares, and they're also going to decrease what they pay the drivers. They're not going to eat this. They're not going to, okay, well, we'll just eat that. No problem. That's not going to happen.
Well, but in Seattle, though, they can't decrease what they pay the driver. It's a set rate by the city or state, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they can't even decrease the driver pay. So the only thing they can do is increase the fares to the customer. Right. And make it another line item, whatever they want to call it.
But then
whatever.
phase here, when you hear about phases when you're building housing, phase 2 comes in. Phase 2 of this is where they impose the union dues onto the drivers in a hybrid model that isn't an employee. So you're still an IC, but you're going to pay union dues. Now those union dues are going to go to Teamsters, and then it's going to go to some other things that included. So dude, these kind of things happen. They're not doable. So again, they're given like 2 years to fully integrate it without subsidies. So it's almost like trickery, because everybody's like, this is awesome, but the rug gets yanked out from under you at some point.
Yeah, at 1 year and 8 months or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, just whatever it is. Like my advice is work twice as much right now, because it won't be there forever. In fact, it'll probably backlash on you harder than at this time anyway. Most states, I don't know. A lot of states seem to be going in weird directions, but
I don't know. I'm kind of torn in how Washington does everything, because I do like that drivers get paid more. I do like the increased fares for the drivers, things like that. But at the same time, I'm supposed to be independent.
Yeah.
and I know at some point, like you said, unions are going to get involved, or we're going to have some kind
I think
of
they already
kickback
are.
on.
They're just waiting, like a
Yeah.
time contract.
Absolutely, they're involved.
They come in 8 months. It's already like written out.
Yeah.
They just don't talk. They're not going to tell you that, because even people pro union don't want to hear it until it's going to really be reality.
And then of course all the drivers are going to be up in a roar over it because they've had it so good for so long without anybody stepping in. And then they're going to be like, wait, what's all this crap? We didn't actually read the bill that was passed, and I haven't read the bill either because it's in Seattle, so I can't say I've read any of that.
The overview of the bill is pretty easy to take in. I mean, it actually just comes out to what we were like kind of talking about Connecticut trying to do. It has some straight pricing models. There it is. Right. It's kind of a combination of Prop 22 and then let's get you a bunch of benefits too. It's like, dude, you know what? The benefits part kills me because there is not any independent contractor in this country who gets those benefits. There's not such. That's one of the things you don't get if you're an IC.
No, you don't get the protections of an employee.
But those, for sure, you do not get paid time to go take care of a family member, or they don't care about your health. Yeah. You don't get anything, and it's never paid. No.
Right. Never. Okay. We're getting close to the end of the hour. We haven't talked about Gary's apps tonight. So let's do that real quick. Gary, you said something about war a minute ago. What is all this stuff about you starting a war?
Oh, well, it's not starting a war. We have the new Gig Wars app.
The Gig Wars app.
Yeah, in fact, it's actually just today. It's officially released. You can get on both Apple Store and the Android Google Play Store. And you can go in there. You can challenge other drivers, join their wars, get real-time information on who's winning the war, and basically bragging rights if you win a war. So.
And last night it was only on iOS, waiting to be on the Play Store. So just in the short, not even 12 hours, like in the last, not even 24 hours. In the last 20 hours, it's now on both. It was on one, now it's on both.
Yeah.
Really, you get it on Apple before you get it on Android?
Well, we
Gary
submitted
did the Apple side.
Yeah, I did the Apple side, but I submitted it to Apple. Google actually approved it. We just didn't release it before Apple.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. No, Apple, I went back and forth. They rejected it like 6 times, and I had to play ball with them and get it on there. But I did get it released.
Yeah.
Well, that too.
Yeah, and like Red says, we do have an official pit stop channel that you can go to if you're in a war, hang out with other drivers, chat, get tips and tricks, things like that.
Yep. Cool. And luckily tonight, Gary's revealing his new app.
Oh, I am?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what you were just doing.
Told me that. Was that clickbait?
That was clickbait, I guess.
No, that's what he just did. He's revealing.
Gary does have a new app coming out.
I do have one more app coming. Probably in the summer. Probably I'm still working on it. I am doing I'm doing it reverse on that. I'm doing the Android side before I do the iOS side, but it will be for both Android and iOS as well. And then, I'm in talks with other people too. And hopefully by the end of the year, we got a few more things coming out.
Gotcha. Okay. But the other apps that are already there, let's talk about Maximo first and foremost. What does Maximo do for our drivers?
Yeah, it's like your personal assistant. You go in there, you tell it what you want to accept or what you don't want to accept. You can give it your parameters, and it can auto accept and auto decline based off your own personal input. So that way you don't have to touch your phone while driving. It's also great for multi-appers. If you run Uber, Lyft, Grubhub, whenever you accept an Uber trip, it'll automatically turn off your Lyft app. So that way you don't have to worry about doing that while you're trying to drive. And it'll do it quicker than you can do it. So like half a second, you're over there, turned off, takes you back to the Uber. Once you finish that ride on Uber, it'll go back, turn your Lyft back on, so you can keep maximizing your income.
Yeah. Well, one of the great things about all that too, Gary, is the safety factor of all that. So many times when I've been out driving and oh shoot, I left the Lyft app open or what, I'm messing with stuff I shouldn't be messing with while I'm driving. You know, I'm pushing buttons and no, that's wrong. And and you can't hit it quite right. Well, hitting a rough patch in the road or whatever. So from a purely safety perspective, and you know who you are. If you're doing that, if you're playing multiple apps and you're bouncing back and forth, you know that it's dangerous. You know it is. So this is well worth the money, the energy, anything else that you need to pull these things down, get them installed, and start using them. So just had to get that in there. Gary and Steve don't pay me to plug their stuff. I think it's great stuff. And if I didn't, I don't know that we'd be doing the show together. It was like, oh, that's a piece of crap. But yeah, we'll do a show together. I'm impressed.
You didn't believe in us. Why would we be here?
So real briefly, TNCradio.live got a weekend of programming coming up, of course, with all sorts of fun stuff throughout the weekend. Really open for everybody. In the morning, Saturday morning, we talk about fishing and cars and golf. We got something called the Radio Law Talk, which is really a lot of fun. I don't know if you guys have tuned into it, but a few lawyers that very apolitical. But they've got real life experience. One of them is a somewhat famous trial attorney out in California. One of them is a family law expert. Another one's kind of in a general practice. And they talk about all the different things that are going on in the world today, things that are in the news and trials. Who's the idiot out in South Carolina a couple of weeks ago got found guilty of killing his wife and son, and that kind of, so they break all that down and they talk about how that happened, as far as how did he get found guilty, what was the jury thinking. Well, it's very interesting. It's a lot of fun, and I mean, it doesn't sound that interesting, but give it a shot sometime. They're very entertaining. And they also do these hypotheticals at the beginning of each hour, where they have to they're giving a scenario and they have to figure out whether it's really truly a scenario or something that the producer made up, and then who won in the courts. So it's a fun show. That's on 1:00 Eastern time. Sunday mornings, we've got Truckers Church. A lot of times we've got drivers who are out there who love to go to church. They can't because they got to feed the family. And maybe they're newer to the profession, so they pulled the Sunday route, whatever. This gives them a chance to do a little bit of the church stuff while they're out driving. And then we're back at it on Sunday night with Steve Summers and the Overnight Drive. We're on all night long. And that's a fun show, and they get into some good heated debates there. And then we're back to our regular stuff on Monday mornings, starting at 9:00 Eastern, and carrying us throughout the day with talk and news and entertainment and all that kind of good stuff. So that's what we're doing here on TNCradio.live. Guys, as always, it's been an absolute pleasure to be with you tonight, Friday night. I have slept 7 hours since I woke up Tuesday morning. Damn. I'm fading. I admit it. I'm fading. So I'm gonna go hit the bed and wake up and tackle life once again. But thank you guys so much. Another great show. Very informative. Hey, if y'all didn't do it, go put in those keywords. Get your chance to win $1,000 here on TNCradio.live.
Good night, everybody.